ball knocked loose. White dive on it.
This is twice now the Celtics have been first to the floor.
They try to save with Harper. Unbelievable.
Boston first to the floor. So good.
Brown fakes, fires up the three. Bang! Tatum dives on the floor. Everybody dives. Jaylen Brown with the flush. Blocked by Porzingis. He's doing it all. Tatum spinning, driving, layup. Washington drives. Blocked by White. Oh, what a block from Derek White.
All right, welcome in. First to the floor, Ben Vallis here, along with Wayne Spooney and Jake Eisenberg. Round 2 post-trade deadline, of course. Brad Stevens came in clutch well and truly after the NBA trade deadline. Xavier Tillman, no longer a Boston Celtic. He is a Charlotte Hornet. Spooney, Jake, how you guys doing?
Just happy to be in the Ron Harper Jr. era, boys. I don't know about you.
The John Tonji era?
Who is on our team? I'm not sure I know.
Doesn't matter.
Tonji is.
Yeah.
It literally doesn't matter. Like, I think to me and Ben waffled around for an hour or for whatever it was, talking about, like, are they getting out of the tax? They're not getting out of the tax. I don't think they are. They can. They can't. And they did. Like, all season long, we thought that they would. Or like all off season, we thought they would or that they should. And then it looked like they couldn't because no one wanted Anthony Simons. They do the Vooch trade. It's like, I don't know scientifically, mathematically, if this is possible. And Mike Zarin, like, we love Brad Stevens, but I don't think that he is like this, like, the accountant with Ben Affleck. It's got to be Zarin or whoever they've got like working there, because we'll get into the details, or at least attempts to get into the details. But yeah, they did it somehow, some way.
Yeah,
man.
I just quickly before we throw to you, Spoonie, I'm glad that we're doing round 2 today because, yeah, like you said, Jake, the conclusion at the end of the first one was like, guess they're not ducking the tax. Like, otherwise they would have made a move, and that is very telling about everything we can expect in the next year or two. We end the stream, and then immediately the news comes out. Celtics cleverly ducking the tax. Spooney, it's quite divisive online, as is to be expected with everything that is reported online across all fields of interest. Some fans calling Brad Stevens, Mike Zarin rightfully geniuses. Others calling the owner cheap and thinking that we're waving the white flag or whatever it might be as far as committing to competitiveness over the next year or two. Where do you sit?
So I ultimately, I think there's two sides of the coin here. Like, pure fan side of the coin, I would prefer that Chisholm is like, F it, who cares? I'll spend as much money. It doesn't matter. Repeater tax be damned. That would be ideal. That would be amazing. Unfortunately, the repeater tax penalties can get up to like 8 times the dollar. So if you're $1 million into the tax, it's 8 million. And obviously, if you're like 30 million into the tax, it's $250 million, right? So it's just not feasible to keep a team deep into the tax for multiple years. And look, this season's been awesome. It's super fun. Realistically, Tatum is probably not going to be 100% if he does play this season. Our chances of winning the finals this year are much lower than they were last year, and they will be next year. So getting under the tax gives us a chance to reset the repeater tax. I don't know if they'll actually do that, but at the very least, it gets the books nice and clean, so you can prepare to spend a bunch of money in the next years going forward as you get into the Jays mid prime and late prime. So I think from a rational standpoint, it makes a ton of sense. The way they did it's pretty painless. I mean, we we gave up some seconds, whatever. We turned Simons into Vooch. Some people hated that trade. I was kind of lukewarm, not in a bad way, just like, okay, that's not bad. Otherwise, like, the true core of this team is totally untouched. I mean, we didn't even get rid of Baylor. You know what I mean? So like nobody.
You mean Raja Bell?
Yeah, right.
NBA starter Baylor Scheierman?
Yeah. American Manu. Yeah. So like the actual functional core of this team, other than Simons, is completely unchanged, and we ducked the tax. So to me, from evaluating a GM standpoint, a tactical standpoint, and how you have to set a team up to win in the NBA, this is kind of a home run.
The thing
Yeah,
that
look,
fucks with me,
go ahead,
Spoonie,
go ahead.
and I think, sorry to jump in, because I want to introduce this thought to the conversation because I think it's bothering a lot of people. The thing that is messing with me the most is not so much ducking the tax this year, but what that indicates as far as, yes, if you do want to get out of the repeater scenario, you do have to duck it next year as well. And that's a year of not spending maybe the necessary amount of money to put a championship squad back together. I think that is what is messing with me a little bit and also messing with some of the more vocal fans online.
Yeah. And look, talking about tax stuff and like celebrating the fact that you get under the luxury tax and you save these billionaires money sucks. Let's like make that part clear. Is it like it's boring, it's dumb, all the billionaires should like care less about it, but none of the owners have essentially have been willing to pay this repeater tax. Granted, it's new, but even Baum was trying to get out of it. So if he's doing it, then like that's, I tried to Google it, how punitive it was, and I almost imploded because I can't understand how any of it works. But like this was going to happen at some point, and so like if you can do it while not screwing your team up and giving up assets, like they did all of this and didn't give up a single first round pick. They got rid of Kristaps Porzingis, who hasn't played a game. Like all of this without giving up a first round pick. They bolstered their big man rotation. They got rid of guys that weren't playing. And I understand where you're coming from, Ben. It's like Tatum's, they're still young though, right? Like 27. Tatum's 27 this year. Jalen's 29 this year. Like, and this is the thing that they're so good and Missoula's so good and Brad's so good that we are in a get under the tax at all costs year. And we're like tied for the 2 seed. So it's like, and Missoula's probably wishing, I wish you would have made it harder. This is still too easy. Take another limb from me, Brad. Let's see if I can do it with John Tonji now instead of, I thought Ron Harper was a challenge.
You better cut Ron Harper before I fucking turn him into a 6th man of the year candidate.
Yeah.
Look, no, I agree, Ben, right? Like it's lame that I'm sitting here like, well, the way they got under the tax really is sick. Like that sucks, right? But that's kind of part of modern NBA fandom, right? Like all the most popular podcasts get into pretty technical details about teams getting under the luxury tax. No matter how rich you are, well, I mean, like Ballmer aside, but we always knew Chisholm's not the richest guy in the NBA, not even close, right? When you're deep into the tax for multiple years, like you just functionally can't cut $300 million checks every single year. Like there's just not enough money in like the world. Even if you have like $10 billion, that's probably not liquid, right? You can't just cut that check to the NBA. And these guys are just not going to be willing to like significantly get rid of assets in order to pay a one-time fee to the NBA. That's $250 million. Like realistically, it's just never going to happen other than maybe once. Right. So, and again, like the trade debt, like obviously getting rid of Drew, KP, like the summer is what it was. Didn't matter. This team's great, frankly. So, and then if you keep all these guys, you don't give up a 1st round pick, you kind of roll that TPE over into the off season with the Vooch trade. Like this team's going to be just as good as it was yesterday. We're basically just gave away spare parts and we all love watching new young guys. Well, buckle up, boys, because there's going to be quite a few new young guys on this team.
And like to that point specifically, like with Simons out the door, we're gonna see more of whoever the young guy is. Like Vooch is gonna take minutes from Gaza and Queta, which even like I don't want him to take too many minutes from Queta, but it's like he's not taking minutes from Ugo and Walsh and Ron Harper Jr. and John Tonji. Simons is actually clearing those minutes up. Now, if Tatum comes back, then we might see a little bit less of John Tonji and Ron Harper Jr. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. I don't know. Jaylen Brown goes out. Ron Harper Jr. becomes like Larry Bird. Who knows? It continues to amaze me. But this is how good the team is without Tatum. Hopefully he comes back and bolsters it again. I like this mantra from Phil in the chat. They're going to go under this year. They're going to go under next year and then go for it. Duck, duck, chip.
Duck, cheese.
That's the mantra. That's the mantra for the next 2 seasons. Duck the tax, banner 19. And okay, we need to firstly quickly appreciate the Zarin genius because it's so hilarious because they cut Tillman, or they trade Tillman, brings him to 13, and like I see Corrales and everyone's like, well, they have to go up to 14. That was what we were struggling with in the previous pod, Ben, and I'm glad. And I don't feel dumb now because the way that we were right that they needed to go up to 14, but how they're getting to 14 is insane. So Dan Feldman from Twitter, didn't really know him until today. 67 days remain in the season. The Celtics have 3 open standard contract roster spots. Boston must fill at least 2 for at least 39 of the remaining 67 days. By my count, Boston can squeeze in 90 player days and dodge the luxury tax. Talk about threading the needle. Yeah. Big surprise Jake couldn't figure that out live on the fucking pod that you needed to pay 39 actual player days out of the 67 available days. And that gets you like dollars under the tax.
Yeah. I literally think it's like, sorry, Ben, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, do you fill these days with two-way players? You just bump them up from the G League? Is that how you fill those slots legally?
So I think what that is essentially that, and again, I'm flying from the hip. Yeah, I'm flying from the hip here, right? So if you have an empty roster spot, you get charged. So essentially we have to get up to 14. If we fill it with two-way guys, that's like, I think what the player days are. You only have so many. If you're under 15, you have only so many player days that you can fill with two-way guys. So my understanding was we will have to sign someone to a rookie minimum contract in order to fill that spot eventually. But because it's less money than what Tillman makes because he's on a vet minimum, and I know those are partially like subsidized by the league, but this is my understanding. We will be like $10,000 under the tax or something like that. I mean, it's some ridiculous number like that. Again, flying from the hip a little bit.
Yeah. So Keith Smith says, I expect some 10-day contracts to happen, timed around keeping 14 players on standard contracts when they have enough room, a rest of season signing. So like while we can now technically, I think, sign a buyout guy, is a good chance we actually are not at the front of the line because the earlier you sign a buyout guy is like, then his contract adds to this number. So maybe keep it in your pants if it comes to a buyout guy, if you're getting excited about something like that.
It's looking that way.
Yeah. So we'll go from there. But yeah, so insane maneuvering by Zarin and whoever is pulling the fucking accounting strings, like Isaiah Thomas, 10-day, bring back Joe Johnson. Like, why not?
Yeah.
It's just make it a rolling 10-day vibes contract.
Javon Carter, who said that?
I saw his, hey, he'll help.
Dude, he's good. He's like pretty good.
He'll help. He'll definitely help. But yeah, so just wanted to draw attention to that. And now we touched on how we dodged the tack, which is good. But we did it without one. Like you could argue we got better while doing it in this little transaction cycle. Clearly we weren't better by getting rid of Drew and Cornette. But like the way you look at the rest of these guys playing, I'm not sure how different the season may have gone considering KP didn't play, Drew's missed half the season. Horford would have been better. Obviously having Cornette would be good. My point is Sixers traded Jared McCain to the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is from a Sixers guy thinking more about the Jared McCain trade, and this just feels entirely indefensible from an organizational standpoint. Trading a young player with promise for the sole reason of ducking a luxury tax is unacceptable. Getting fluff picks as the return is also embarrassing. So, like,
Agreed.
Imagine if, like if we had given up Jordan Walsh to get this done, or even Baylor, or even Ron Harper Jr., like, it would have sucked, and it would have felt a little bit less fun. But to do it with all of these guys still on the roster, Josh Minot's the one casualty, and he was out of the rotation at this point.
Yeah.
So you look around the league, and people actually gave up real stuff to get under the tax, and the Sixers weren't even in the repeater, I don't think. So losers.
I love that we gained a rotation piece as well. Like, oh, Ron Harper Jr. is just awesome now.
Hey.
He's on the team after all is said and done. So
We did it.
actually, yeah, you did get better in the process. I think for me and a lot of people, like, you know, you just have to sit back and enjoy the front office cooking for a second. Like, we'll talk about the Rockets game after the ad break, but we're basketball fans. We love watching Peyton Pritchard cook Jabari Smith off the dribble multiple times in a single game. We love watching Derek White cook and hit a bunch of threes, one which was in Kevin Durant's face. Like, we love that aspect of the game. Sometimes it's a privilege, based on what you just showed, Jake, with what's happened with the Sixers, to be able to sit back and watch your front office cook, and kind of do what they have to do for the longevity of the team's championship hopes. And, it's easy to be disappointed. And I've had that today, in terms of the short-term championship trajectory, but there's no doubt the finagling and the maneuvering that's been achieved by the front office. And if you're a fan of the team, you have to be a fan of Zarin cooking instead of Pritchard cooking.
Tyson in the Discord was like, I want to see the spreadsheets so bad.
Yeah.
I want to see the spreadsheets. I know there are some sickos that love a good spreadsheet, and I can only imagine the pivot tables that I never even figured out how to use, that are inside the Zarin supercomputer.
The collaborative Google Doc collaboration.
Yeah. I'm sure it's exactly the same. It's like, hey Zarin, I can't access it. Can you share? Can you I can only, it's a read only.
Yeah, no chance.
Can you open it up for me? Yeah, it's it just makes you feel like it's in good hands, because people that were really good at the cap online were like, I don't know how the Celtics are going to do this. It's kind of impossible. And to get out of all of those little contracts without having to attach anything. The only thing we gave up was the Pelicans' second round pick, and I think this is a good transition point, maybe to assuage some of your feelings, Ben Vallis. Now, I know it's dangerous when Jake does mathematics, but I crowdsourced this in the Discord earlier. But 11 players under contract: Tatum, Jalen, Derek, Queta, Hauser, Pritchard, Ugo, Walsh, Baylor, Gaza, Amari, $183.2 million. That gives us about $21.5 million to spend on 3 players and stay under the tax for the next season. The 24th overall pick and another second round minimum leaves us with about $15 million in free agency money to spend. So I've seen some people throw around Vooch, giving him $14 million. I'll be stunned if they give Vooch. Yeah. People that don't know this. Yeah. Give him, exactly. He can have the second min, if he wants to stay. But no, so you've got 15 million to spend on someone. That's a pretty good number, especially when it's this person could probably earn rotation minutes, and obviously you're going to be thrown in onto a contender. The dream is Isaiah Hartenstein. Probably not going to happen, but it's time to, now we can play the 15 million free agency game until July 1st. Can't wait.
Yeah, man, the Vooch trade essentially opened up the non-taxpayer MLE for us, and that was right around 15 million. It hard caps you at the first apron, which we don't really have to worry about anymore, which is freeing. Yeah, you can get some real dudes. You can also split it, so you could get one dude for 10 and one guy for 5 or something like that. Plus the TPE, we're sure as hell not going to use all of it. But it is just another function where you see some of these teams just take somebody into their traded player exception and get a pick for it. Or I'm pretty sure that's what Oklahoma City did for McCain, right? That they take him into a TPE and they just moved a first round pick. And it's okay, you've got a young guard people were super high on last year for a crappy first round pick. That's the type of flexibility we unlocked with the Vooch trade. And I don't think you can look at that trade and not talk about that stuff, because it's important and it's a huge reason why we did the deal. On basketball, on the court wise, I can see why people dislike it. But when you got to at least see the argument from Vooch gives us something on the court, and it unlocked what we just did today to get us under the tax, open up flexibility, give us multiple tools to make the team better in the offseason without going over the tax even.
Also, the thing that people are excited about for the remainder of this season is still very much in play, which is Jason Tatum coming back, and how does that look with the team that has been cooking so far this season? And in fact, you've balanced that roster better, more arguably, I suppose, by adding Vucevic in place of Anthony Simons. And we've seen Pritchard straight back to the bench, straight back to his prolific bench scoring ways. And so there's this balance that we've added to the roster, and the reality of seeing how Tatum integrates with that is still very real. So there's no loss in short-term excitement as well. You can see I'm starting to talk my head around it as we go through it. There's also, like what you mentioned, the room will have spending wise in the offseason, despite trying to remain under the tax barrier there. Like you can, like you said, Spoonie, you can use the that first round pick rather than using it and actually having to commit to that salary. You could, in theory, attach it to a trade using the TPE in a sign and trade to take in more salary. So if it's a high value player in that allowable salary range, you could maneuver it that way as well. So crazy amount of flexibility despite like really having to like shed salary and get under this tax line. It's pretty amazing.
And I'm just gonna continue to convince Ben here, but like you already look at this team, right? And they're on pace for 50 wins without Jason Tatum. Like that's really everything here. Now he's probably not going to get back to peak Jason Tatum in this run. So it does make sense to kind of like use this opportunity to build Jason Tatum back up. So by the time he hits his age 29 season, that's like 2 years. That's after next season, the following season, age 29 season. That's go time, right? And that's going to be the year where they can now go back into the aprons, go back into the tax. And in the meantime, they've already got this roster that's really, really good. Spot Track paying some crazy ads in my ears while I was trying to speak just now. So, the rotation of Jalen, Jason, Derek, man, I cannot believe how confident I feel in Queta just as like a big man now. But like
he's so good.
He's so just really good
against Houston, dude. It was crazy.
Awesome. The defense that they played against Houston, we're going to cover that, but like him and Hauser's like resurgence, I've always been really confident. Like that 5, give me like that 5 against fucking anybody. Like and let's roll the ball out. Pritchard coming off the bench, we love that. And Ugo, like the dude just turned 20 and he's like on the plus minus list with Tim Duncan and Jason Tatum and all these things. And he like, how good has Walsh been this season? That's like in his 3rd NBA season. Like seeing what Ugo's already done as a rookie and seeing how these other guys develop. I think like what you're seeing from these young guys and the trajectory, at least being able to play solid roles. And before we were like, can some of these guys hit as far as being rotation or fringe rotation guys? We've kind of already hit that mark. Now it's like, which of these guys can now turn into starters? Is there a fringe all-star brewing beneath the surface of Ugo Gonzalez's thick posterior chain? Probably.
No doubt.
Yeah, no doubt. And then Amari Williams gets his full-time contract. And whoever you draft at the 24th overall pick is probably another Hall of Famer, right? So Brad, the highest he's picked at 28, he got Ugo Gonzalez. What can he do at pick 24?
I gotta say, maybe I'm forgetting some details here, but like looking at this, amazing. Like Billy C has saved in half a season, like multi-generational wealth, the saving of $354 million in like a total salary bill. Is Wick, is the Grousbeck family just thinking like, oh fuck, like if we just held on a little while longer, that we're gonna like commit to this direction anyway? Like if the team would have remained affordable for us, like what's happening there?
Trying to explain that to Wick's dad was probably going to be tough.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, I suspect like, this didn't come from Wick.
Yeah, he's like, Zarin goes in there and is like, so we only have to pay them for 39 of the 67 player days. John Tonji.
Yeah,
I'm out.
Somebody give me an HDMI cord. I'm going to set this laptop up.
I gotta jump off soon. I got a work meeting I gotta get to. But before I go, you guys are gonna do the Rockets game and get to prize picks. Xavier Tillman, can I run the clip of
course.
He's an NBA champion, a Celtics champion.
You can feel the concern of the crowd here at the American Airlines Center. Mavericks led by 13 in the first quarter. Tillman tries a 3. It's good! Xavier Tillman from downtown!
Oh my goodness.
I mean, needed it in that moment.
Yep.
And also what is not pictured there, the like switch defense on Luka Doncic as well, like incredible and necessary while we rested Al Horford. Dude, like I don't know what that's comparable to, like a PJ Brown equivalent kind of moment in the finals, but he had his PJ Brown moment and will be forever remembered for it. In fact, that's still the only thing we remember him for.
Dude, did you see the 3-point, the corner three he took in the Rockets game? It hit like the bottom of the rim and the bottom of the backboard somehow.
I will say though, every time we put one of those up, every single time since that game 3 of the finals, my hands are always up in the air, waiting for it to go down, and then immediately texting you.
Cash. And speaking of, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't know if you can say we wouldn't have won without Tillman, but it would have been a longer series, and that would have been terrifying. So I will always thank him for gutting it out and playing well and making some threes and locking Luka up. So it was beautiful.
Yeah, Sam LaFrance in the chat. I feel like I should be tweeting at Jack Simone to collect my $100 of beer money. I'm so glad I didn't get tricked into believing that Xavier Tillman was going to be like an Al Horford shooter because he hit that 3. Incredible 3-point make. Incredible performance. We'll miss you, X-Man.
Dearly. All right, I got to duck out. You guys keep going. You don't have to get to the Rocket stuff or Prize Picks, but I got to go. But
Prize Picks, we'll do that now.
Soon. Thanks, everyone.
I'll hit it for you, Jake. See you, Ben.
All right. See you, Ben. Prize Picks, Super Bowl in a couple of sleeps. Seattle, the safety, Worry. The Patriots' powers continue to roll on, apparently. Drake May, a full participant. Look, we're going more Milton Williams sacks. That's the whole game to me. Can Milton and Barmore get pressure up the middle? So I like more on Milton and Barmore sacks. I like Sam Darnold to throw a pick. I like Drake May more rushing yards. I'm not sure how I feel about Ramondre and Travion rushing yards. Like the Seattle run defense is really fucking good. I like fewer on Kenneth Walker rushing yards. I trust the Patriots run defense. It's like, can we get a good good performance from the Patriots defense, rattle Sam Darnold in a way that he hasn't really had to deal with in the past month, and then Drake May just plays like Drake May has been for the past season, and we're going to Disneyland. So use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play $5 on Prize Picks. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play a $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Cue the duck boats, buddy. His big game. Yeah, more Drake May. Let's go. He's got to have a monster game. I feel like the Seattle defense is legit. But all right, Jake, real quick on Vooch. I tweeted out, honestly, this is the only tweet I've had where more than like 10 people saw it in the last like 3 months. I did not expect it to be this controversial. I just tweeted, Queta's better than Vooch and he should play more and he should start. Yeah. And it is extraordinarily divisive.
Really?
People were calling me a moron and people were saying like, ball. And I was just shocked at how confident people were that Vooch is better than Queta. To me, I mean, look, Vooch obviously is a better offensive player than Queta, but the gap between their offense is a lot smaller than the gap between their defense. And I don't know if people are underrating Queta or overrating Vooch and just kind of counting stats. But to me, it's like pretty obvious Queta needs to start and play more.
Yeah, I've heard it a few times, like on a variety of podcasts and on Twitter, as people as almost like throwaway comments too. Being like, oh, and the Vooch will come in and that'll push Queta to the backup. And that I'm like, no. I'll be stunned, I think, if Vooch gets like the day in, day out starter spot from Queta. Like, skill-wise, obviously the shooting, the passing, decision-making, that stuff, Vooch is worlds better than the touch around the basket, like the hands, all that stuff Vooch is going to really be good at. Now, it's always so different when you assess a player when they're on your team. Like, I'll be honest, I've never really focused deeply on Vooch's screening ability, but I've seen stats and like B-Ball Index has him at like an F on screening talent. If that's accurate, then Queta's like narrows the gap pretty significantly on offense. And defensively, you need Queta's rim protection. I do wonder if like the the numbers defensively might be okay or better than we think because of Vooch's defensive rebounding.
Yeah.
And like they've done a good job with, I know Vooch isn't as athletic and probably can't play as hard as Gaza, but the way they've been hedging and recovering with Gaza, and we did the deep dive on Gaza's defense. It's not good. So the way they've been able to, survive with Gaza makes me think they'll be able to survive with Vooch schematically as well. And then you add Vooch's being a lot better on the defensive glass. Maybe it's at minimum a wash. Maybe like if you factor in the Boston exchange rate coming from Chicago, it's actually better than we think. But to the starting point, no. I imagine he eats what? Are you kind of sad that he's going to eat some Gaza minutes? Or as the original Gaza detractor, are you glad to be rid of a bit of Gaza?
I just think he is. I think Garza's issue is that they're very similar players, and Vooch is just a better version of it. Like, I feel like if we brought in like a Kongwu or something like that, there's room for all three of them to play because Garza does different things from both Kongwu and Queta. But with Vooch coming in, the profile of player is very, very similar, and Vooch is just a much higher three-point volume guy. Just has a more diverse offensive skill set, and the defense is bad for both of them. So I suspect Garza will still have a role in some capacity, but I think a lot of his minutes are going to be eaten by Vooch. But no, I'm not. Look, hey, Garza is what he is. The offense is better than I expected, and the defense is as bad as I expected. So he's fine. He's a NBA role player, which is shocking to me. But like Vooch just does what he does better. So, I mean, does it make sense you can't play them both together, right? And like outside of the Houston matchup where it makes sense to have two bigs out there, I don't think we'll see a lot of double big. So I suspect Garza will be buried somewhat, but he'll still have some games where he plays.
Yeah, it seems like obvious, like Vooch is better than Gaza. Like I think that's, but there's also part of my brain that's like, I know Missoula has been pretty ruthless as far as benching guys or playing guys that can't handle their assignments or in the wrong spots. So maybe it takes a little bit of time. Like maybe at first he's getting, 8 to 10 minutes and Gaza's still getting his allotment. Like how many I know yesterday was a little bit of an outlier, but Gaza played 34 minutes against the Rockets. But yeah, maybe at first Gaza keeps his role to an extent. And after the All-Star break, after they're able to get some reps in and get some practices in, Vooch starts to climb into the rotation. But I don't think that there's anything we've seen from this season. Like going back to the game where Joe benched the entire starting lineup, Jalen, Derek, all these guys, and the bench came in and won the game for them. I don't think that he's been beholden to like the vets or guys who've been in the league X amount of time, so you get to have your minutes. I don't think he's going to do that with Vooch over Gaza. Like Gaza, I think, has earned his role. And I think Vooch is going to have to as well. He might just do it quickly because it's like, fuck, this guy can play in the short role, be big, make decisions, give you a post up. And it'll be easy. But yeah, Gaza's going to make him earn it, I think.
Yeah, that's I think a great way to put it. And like if Vooch is not playing hard, and I've watched some Bulls this year. I'm not going to say he's been playing extraordinarily hard. Like Garza's going to play over him because say what you want about Garza, that dude will play his heart out every time he steps foot on the court. And there's just going to be some games where it's like, this isn't a skill game like that Houston game. I mean, you needed to play hard. You had to match their physicality. You had to match how hard they play. And we did, and Garza was a big part of that. And then they kind of folded because they couldn't make shots, and we kind of Houston the Rockets in some ways. And Garza's been what up, Ted? Garza is a big part of that. So yeah, I think you saying Garza will make him earn it is like absolutely spot on. So I don't think Garza is going to completely disappear like Minot did, but certainly Vooch is going to, you expect Vooch to cannibalize a considerable amount of Garza's minutes. Interested to see if Joe tries like a Vooch Queta, Vooch Garza more. I don't know how that'll look against teams who can actually shoot the ball, but it looked pretty solid against Houston. That's for sure. Maybe that's a good time to transition unless you have anything else.
Yeah, it works against a team that can't shoot
Right.
at all. Şengün, Amen Thompson, like even the Taris and the Jabaris of the world, like they can shoot, but the triggers aren't as quick, and you can impact their shots with good defense. But let's get into the Houston game. One of the wins, like of easily maybe the win of the season. Like this is going to be one of those games that I think we remember for a long time. Like it's funny, the other Houston game that comes to mind is when Smart draws the two offensive fouls. Obviously, this game didn't go down to the wire, but it was kind of obviously different in that I don't even know what the line was coming into this game, but on the road, no Jalen, no Hauser, like Ron Harper Jr. starting, Baylor Scheierman starting. Like this is supposed to be a blowout, and they don't just win this game. They wire to wire win and kick the shit out of the Rockets. Ime gets ejected. Şengün gets ejected for calling a woman ref a bitch. So fuck
Which
Şengün.
was insane. What a crazy move.
And then he's like, I've always been kind of low on Şengün. Then I felt so vindicated yesterday. He's a chronic complainer. Never thinks he's made a bad something goes against him on the court. He stinks. I don't even know where to begin. But the incredible W.
Dude, it was so much fun. Probably the win of the season. I think I'm going to start with Joe Mazzulla because I think if anybody, this is a Joe Mazzulla win. Going double big with Luka Garza and Neemias Queta. Imagine if I said that to you in August. You would have been like, wow, this season has gone horribly. What is happening? And the fact that him putting Queta on Thompson and just being like, ignore him. I don't care about Amen Thompson. Let him do whatever he wants offensively. And Queta was so damn good the entire game. And defense, this for my money is got to be one of the best defensive performances of any player this season. He was everywhere. 5 blocks, 2 steals, a billion straight up and down, rule of verticality contests. Every time somebody picked the ball up in the paint and turned their back to the basket, he's in, I don't even know where he's coming from. And he's in there, trying to get into their handle, trying to knock the ball loose. He got it a couple times, crushing the glass. Houston's the best offensive rebounding team in the NBA. I mean, they're worse at it without Steven Adams, but it's still very much part of their identity. 12 defensive rebounds. Houston had 26 total defensive rebounds. I mean, he was just a complete monster defensively. And Joe saying, Garza, you get Şengün. We'll play 2 big bodies. So one of you guys can handle Şengün, and then Queta just be athletic, read the play, and disrupt absolutely everything. Was a complete Mazzulla masterclass, man. Give the man coach of the year.
And to cap it off with Ime crying at the end of the third quarter about giving Queta the free throws and then getting it. He may end up getting ejected. The broadcast did an awful job. Granted, I was watching it with no sound at the time because I was like,
yeah, me too.
So I was pretty confused. But to have him cry and then after the game call out his team again for basically being losers and soft, and you read Rockets Twitter, they're already over Ime. It's like, how many times are you going to call out your team? How about you come up with some semblance of an offensive system, come up with some type of problem solving on the offensive end in a way that Joe Mazzulla has figured out to be. If you go to NBA.com, we're the best offenses in the NBA right now.
Yep.
And if we go to Clean the Glass, we're second or third. It's fucking ridiculous. Dude. Doesn't matter. I don't know how, but it is what it is. He ran circles around Ime Udoka pretty comfortably. Like I was saying, the Charizard meme where it's like Charmander is like Charmeleon and Charizard. It's like usually I would like, in theory, Brad would be because he was first would be Charmander. It's like really Brad Stevens was Charmeleon. We kind of we like devolved into Ime Udoka, who became Charmander, and then we skipped back up to Charizard with Joe Mazzulla because it's become pretty clear that Ime Udoka kind of has that one button. He calls his team losers, and it works for a season. And it's like you can only do it for so long. Shout out Muzz for the super chat and the donation. Appreciate you, legend. Like you can only Missoula's never done it. He's never come out and been like, I'm calling out the players. He might do it behind closed doors or do it with his actions by benching guys. Never has he gotten up on the podium. And Brad Stevens never did it either. Never would he be like, screw these guys. They suck. They're soft. They should be embarrassed. You should be embarrassed, Ime. You should be embarrassed. And I love it because there's been so many like Ime, like little sycophants rolling around ever since we got rid of him. And the dude that basically is who Ime wants to be is actually coaching the Celtics, who also has the X's and O's acumen.
Yeah, man. I praise in public, criticize in private. You keep that shit behind closed doors. I can't imagine how betrayed you probably would feel if you have a bad game and then your coach is like, these fucking losers, probably dropping the same words Sengun said to the lady ref. I mean, it's lame, dude. It's just so whack to call your players out in front of the media like that, basically because like your ass got outcoached, man. That's all there was to this game. You got outcoached by Joe Mazzulla. Like, this is on you. You couldn't figure out what to do. You didn't change anything you were doing offensively. Take Sengun out. Run Jabari at the 5. Spread us out. Make Queta get out of the paint. Did not do that once. And, like, I bet Brad hated that when Ime was doing that type of shit. And so I just, like, it was such a masterclass from Mazzulla. It felt so good because I'm extraordinarily biased because I'm also a WVU alum, as Joe is, and I have met him. We're, really good friends.
We're pals.
So I've always been a huge Joe supporter. So it is great to see him develop into the coach he is. Like, people were really hard on him that first season, really, really hard on him. And look, credit to Ime. I think the Jays kind of needed that season of Ime to just kind of like toughen them up and realize like you got to have a little thicker skin. You got to play a little harder day in, day out. And 1 year was perfect. And then it goes to Joe, the tactician, the psycho, but like caring, loving, crazy ass who really understands basketball, how these guys tick, how to get the best out of them, and can design the schemes to take advantage of every player on the roster. I truly believe like Joe knows that like, okay, if it's this matchup, that's when I go to, Amari Williams. That's when I'm going to go to Amari. This is a perfect Baylor game. Like he just has, he's so in touch with all of these guys' skill sets and how to deploy them. And it's just really nice letting Ime just, be in the rearview mirror and not have to deal with those conversations anymore. Because even in the title year, I feel like we're getting it.
Absolutely. Yeah, people couldn't let it go. And I feel like he kind of ticked there are some people that have that, like, it's like the Coach Carter Disney movie type of vibe. And it's like, that works in a 90-minute movie to call out high schoolers. But that's not really how it works in the NBA. Yeah, well, it's like, on one hand, he's the way that he pulls these levers throughout a game, like sprinkle a bit of Walsh, sprinkle a bit of Ugo, and how he like sticks to now Pritchard coming off the bench. Like with everybody being out, it could make sense to put Pritchard in the starting lineup, but no, let's put another wing in there, but not Ugo, not Jordan Walsh.
Not the guys who've been playing.
Not the guys who are playing. Ron Harper Jr., it's your time. And it kind of from the Pritchard perspective, it worked perfectly because like the offense was a slog like throughout the game, but Pritchard comes in and gives you that spark. And like, man, that one was for the for the people that don't think Pritchard can perform against the best teams, like I know that it hasn't been awesome against all of them, but that's also statistically, unless you're a superstar, most players' stats go down against the best defenses. That's just kind of how it works.
Yeah. If they didn't, they wouldn't be the best defenses.
Yeah. Pritchard was awesome. And there was a little bit of like a couple of big buckets kind of to really put the last nails in the coffin, but they needed all of his buckets early. The way that he's just getting into bigger guys, Scal loves it. And he kind of, right? He's really good at getting into the bigger players. I still thought he was pretty comfortable against Reed Shepherd as well, but 27 points, 7 assists, only 1 turnover, like an absurd game. And I'm not sure if he has like a renewed energy or something, whether like with Simons going out and knowing that he's got like this extra responsibility, or like him going to the bench makes him want to prove himself even more. But like the relentlessness that he's played with over the last 2 games, I'm like, yeah, this whole team, just put more chips on their shoulders. Just,
I know, dude.
Just tell them they suck. Happy birthday. We're going to suck. Everyone thinks we're going to suck. Get it tattooed on every part of your body.
Yeah, man. Pritchard was they had honestly for like 2 or 3 games in a row that teams just have not had any answer for Pritchard high pick and roll. Because they don't want to trap him, because once you trap him, it's over. Like if you're committing 2 defenders and doubling Peyton Pritchard, your defense is cooked, because he's also sharing the floor with a bunch of dudes who can shoot and a bunch of guys who can put it on the floor. So if you're not trapping him, like nobody had anything for him. I mean, he was getting into the paint. All he wanted. Happy birthday, Eric Weiss.
Happy birthday. Everyone thinks you're going to suck.
Yeah.
Prove him wrong.
So, and like, I mean, the ease at which he's getting into the paint on all types of defenders. I mean, Scal's right. Like, he seems to like to go to that mid-range sort of step back against big guys a little bit more than he does against little guys, but he's able to compromise the defense basically whenever he wants out of the pick and roll. And a big part of that's because the pull-up shooting, you got to stretch out, you got to get out there. His handle's ridiculous. He never turns the ball over with the dribble. And now that he's got that in-between game going, he's just such a weapon, man. And the way he protects the ball, which is a huge part of the way the Celtics win games, is winning the possession battle. We talk a lot about rebounding in the possession battle. Turnovers is a huge part of that. We lost turnovers, but we did obliterate them on the offensive glass. Yeah. But 13 turnovers, perfectly fine number.
Yeah, you lost the turnover battle, but against a team like Houston, you'll take 13 turnovers.
Yep.
Like that's a win. Yeah. Man, yeah, the offensive rebounding was just absurd in this game. Everybody is so bought in on that specific thing. And it feels like, I mean, it's a skill, I guess, obviously, right? Like, guys are just getting better at it. And so, talked about Pritchard, Baylor Scheierman, 15 points, 10 rebounds, only 1 offensive. But the dude that was one of like the pluses on his scouting report coming out of the draft, right? Was like,
yeah,
good rebounder for his size. Yep. That's really starting to translate. Like 10 boards in 23 minutes is fucking impressive. The 3-point shot looks good enough. It's hard to know on the volume kind of how good it's going to be, but I feel pretty confident that he's going to be a competent. He's not going to get left wide open in a playoff series type of guy. Like the no dip threes, I like the shooting. And I think as he gets more comfortable, gets more minutes, carves out the role, we haven't really seen the passing, ironically, be much of his game. He had one there's honestly, I feel like it kind of gets him into trouble more than anything else. Like, because people aren't ready for some of the sauce that he puts on it. Like he had 1 turnover at half court yesterday that was horrendous, but then came back down the other end and then got a steal. So it's like the part that might be the most surprising is the defense. He was the primary defender on Kevin Durant yesterday. And I know Kevin Durant is a bit older. Kevin Durant is still averaging 25 points a game on absurd efficiency. And Durant was 4 for 11, over 4 from 3. Got to the line 7 times, about 15 points and 11 shots. You'll take that any day of the week. He's turned himself into like a pretty, I'm not sure if I can go good, but he was fucking good yesterday.
Yeah, man. I think ultimately it's difficult to say he's a good defender on like this is a pretty short sample size of him playing positive defense. So I'm not going to go there yet. I agree with that, but um the fact that he's capable of having good defensive games and like there might be a real defender in there. He's quick hands, he's smart, he plays hard and he's tough, man. Like he's really strong. He's almost kind of like a slightly bigger Pritchard in the way he plays defense, where it's like he's just really strong. He takes a lot of contact to the body. He's not scared. Yeah, well, yeah, but we got a lot of white guys. All right, dude, really it's hard to compare.
Yeah,
and I would say Ron Harper played defense very similarly. Like they're just really strong for their size, and I think that surprises guys. And they just keep people in front of you, move those puppies, slide those puppies, and like it sucks taking contact. It sucks taking Kevin Durant's gangly ass elbows into your chest multiple times a game. But Baylor has shown he is more than willing to do that. Can't really think of any defensive rotations he's like completely blown in the last, 10 games or so. So like trending up the offense, the shooting I thought, okay, he'll probably shoot it, but I think people talked about his shooting like he's Sam Hauser. He's not Sam Hauser.
No.
But if he's like 37, 38% on good volume, that is great. That is awesome. He's up at 40 so far this year. Again, sample size is pretty small. But signs are very good. And like my concern with the shooting was always he had the ball a ton at Creighton. And like some guys just can't translate to like a low touch role and keep up that same efficiency. I think you saw Nesmith sort of struggle with that when he was with the Celtics too. He clearly looks like he's settling in on both sides of the ball. And it's just like, it just always goes right. Like it's apparently so crazy. It's amazing.
Remember how the ceiling comp for Baylor was like Joe Ingles? I feel like we're kind of tracking towards it, right? Like,
yeah,
the scrappy, positionally sound defender. Baylor's like shorter and like girthier than Joe Ingles, and Ingles was like a really high level shooter. Like, and all these comps are not one for one. And I think though, as we get into Baylor's career, like obviously the passing is in there. And Ingles was such a good pick and roll operator. Baylor's not being asked to do that a ton. But you can kind of see like the track and the vision. He's doing the things that are going to get him on the court, the rebounding and the defense, the stuff that we weren't sure was going to be there. The shooting's come around. And it's like now some of the skill can really start to flash. It's impressive. And it's been too long before we've mentioned Ron Harper Jr.
Dude. What is happening?
Do you like know anything about his profile? I know Eric Weiss is in the chat, like coming out. Like, I don't even know how old he is. I don't even know the. I
He's
didn't even
25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
He'll be 26.
Younger than Baylor.
Soon. Yeah. I think they're like almost exactly the same age, actually. So he was he went to Rutgers, like I think his dad and his brother. Sort of like a on-ballish guard, like a sort of a traditional two guard. And I don't think he shot it very well in college. I don't think he shot it very well in like his little stints in the NBA either, but always had potential as a dribble pass shoot guy, 6'5". He's obviously really sturdy. And like pretty good size for kind of your 2-3 style wing who has like comfortable dribbling when he's getting pressured a little bit, has had enough on-ball reps, like I think in college, to think like maybe there's something there as like a dude who can make the right read once he gets into the paint. It's just about the shooting coming along. And then like defensively, I for some reason, I feel like he had kind of a rep as a dude who doesn't play all that hard coming out of college, but this is like 3 or 4 years ago, so I could be wrong there. And he's not going to touch the court on the Celtics if he's not working really hard. So clearly he's working really hard. Like the defensive signs were great. I thought he did awesome on KD. I don't know what his wingspan is, but I think it's
would you like
6'8". Yeah, what is it?
Would you like
6'10"?
7'1.25".
Holy shit. That's
Bradley
insane. All right.
Stevens.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. So he's basically the same length as Walshy. He's obviously much sturdier physically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So I'm looking at the G League stats now, right? So we've got, this is like 200, 500, 700, like 800 attempts in the G League over the past couple of seasons. Everything in like the 38-39% range.
awesome.
Like per game, trying to get up. Like he's shooting 11 threes per game for Maine in 31 minutes.
Damn.
38.7%. 5 boards. Like, what are we doing, dude?
I don't know, man.
I don't understand.
Winning the
'cause
title.
we just got Ron Harper Jr. But he's actually Ron Harper, just reincarnated, I guess.
He actually is a lot like his dad. He was like kind of an okay-ish on ball, could make an open shot, good defender. Yeah, man.
So if he can shoot, defend, dribble pass, shoot, and have a 7'1" wingspan, like I really like the profile. This is crazy, dude. I'm like, do I actually need to learn what's going on with Max Schulger? Because
buddy, you got to learn what's going on with Schulganator, brother.
the Schulganator might be next in line, because apparently he's probably going to get converted to a full, like it saves you money to give the two-way guys full-time contracts as opposed to bringing in a new thing. So the biggest winners of the deadline might literally be John Tonji. One, he gets to come to the Boston Celtics, and two, he's probably going to get a full-time roster spot because it saves the Celtics money. Like, congrats to this guy, earning more money and coming to Boston. And to be fair, Charlotte was like a lot of good vibes lately as well, but like I want to see more Ron Harper Jr. now.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I'm addicted to Ron Harper Jr. minutes. Are you kidding me?
This is like a Royal Rumble between Ugo, Walsh. I guess now it's Ugo, Walsh, and Ron Harper Jr. and Baylor as your 4 like developmental wing guys, because Minot's out the door now. But like, those are some pretty impressive numbers we already just read out between like the dimensions and the G League numbers, and now the like performance against the Rockets. Obviously, it's only one game, so you don't want to get too crazy, but like 9 rebounds, 11 points, defending Kevin Durant. Pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's not bad. Look, it's only one game, but it's one game where he was very good in the NBA, right? Like, that is a foundation to build on. And I feel like you've become a rebound psycho now. I feel like I'm like I think I'm like a confidence psycho, or like guys just like, it's all about confidence. Like, all these dudes are so skilled, and they need to be confident and understand their responsibilities when they're on the court. And if you have guys who are confident and do that and know their responsibilities, they're just going to be good role players. They'll be fine. Like, all of these guys are talented. You could probably, like, 15 guys in the G League you could sign tomorrow. And if you got them confident and comfortable in your system, they'd be good for 15 minutes a game. And I think the profile with Ron Harper Jr., like the dimensions, the thickness,
shooting with size, Brad Stevens, we know it.
Yeah. And it's like, it makes a lot of sense that this is kind of the type of dude we target. Steve, I saw you said I want to promote Ron Harper over Amari. Amari already got promoted, but there's plenty of roster spots.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens, like, as far as the promotions go. But I thought the exact same thing watching, like, early in the game when he hit like those 2 threes. I'm like, and watching him defend a little bit and get a couple of rebounds before the entire thing happened. I'm like, the NBA is ridiculous, dude. Like, Ron Harper Jr. is probably so fucking good at basketball and can't sniff a rotation. Like, how many guys are there in the G League that are just like, would walk onto any court that's not in the NBA all over the world that would just kill? Like, just a ridiculous 99.99 percentile group of people is the NBA, between like the size, the height, the skill. So stupid.
It's ridiculous, man. And like, the athleticism is just nuts, bro. Like, Harper had this one rebound. I think the game was like basically over, but it like kicked out to almost like the foul line, and he came from the wing and just like jumped up, tipped it out to Pritchard for a wide open 3, all in one motion. And it's like, he's halfway to the moon when he's tipping this ball out. And it's like, this is just crazy.
These 7'1" arms are like above the backboard getting this
Yeah,
rebound.
dude.
Yeah, I love it. What a season, man. Like, and remember we sat up here, tried to figure out if we can go hit the 40-20.
Play.
Someone believed in this team that they could win the Houston game.
Yeah, oh, come on, bro. All I said was we skipped past it a little quickly.
It's
That's
true.
all. That's all I said.
Oh man.
Hey,
What
real
a-
quick,
Go ahead.
before we go, 1 minute
Yeah.
on John Tonji. Was
No
not
rush.
good in
Yeah.
college. Was not good in college until his 6th season in
Okay.
college on Wisconsin. But on Wisconsin, maybe the best pure scorer in college basketball. He was ridiculous. 20, hyper efficient, got to the line a ton, shot threes really well on really good volume, had the ball in his hands a ton. And like defensively, I have no idea. But he's a similar profile to Ron Harper Jr., honestly, like 6'5", well-built guard who can put it on the floor, maybe shoot it. And like isn't a great passer, but can move the ball.
Sounds like a
Yeah.
all-star to me.
Most
John
improved
Tonji.
player loading. Yeah.
Like my brain has actually switched. Like there's been something happened to my brain in the Rockets game where I'm like, I need to never forget who Ron Harper Jr. is, and I need to never forget who John Tonji is. Like this, whatever's happening right now in the Boston Celtics cosmos is significant. Like, yeah, Fort Minor, John Tonji, we all remember the name. It's crazy. Thank you for the scouting report.
Yeah, you're welcome. I don't think it was a very good one. His defense, I don't know anything about. So there you go.
I saw he can get to the free throw line, so that's good.
Yes, big time.
Good driver.
Yeah. Yep. Very strong physical driver when he attacks. So he was really, really talented scorer. Dude, like this is always been the vision. Just fucking sign a bunch of wings and see what happens. You're gonna find them. Like if you just roll through like 15 wings in 2 seasons, you're gonna find some guys who can play basketball.
Well, especially if you have the infrastructure. I think that's the
right.
key, right? Because the Kings can roll through lots of guys, and that's not going to work. But yeah, the opposite end of it is roll through a bunch of guys and they'll all be good.
Yeah. Then what the hell do you do?
Then what do you do? I don't know. Like I'm in no rush. If you want to go, we can go. But I'm happy to stay or to go. Do you have like a take on any of the other trades that happened that you need to get off your chest? Anthony Davis to the Wizards. Your boy, hey, Alex Sarr finally gets his guy.
First of all, Alex Sarr should start over Anthony Davis.
I think they're going to play together.
No, they will. That's like actually got some serious potential
Yeah.
for the 30 games a year. Anthony Davis is healthy.
Agreed.
But they're kind of similar players in a lot of ways too. So like that they could with Trey, like that's a really both Treys, Johnson and Young, and Keyshawn George, like that, or Keyshawn George, and
Keyshawn
then
George.
Keontae's out in Utah. Like that, the Wizards seem like they finally have a vision. And look, AD. When you can get him for that small amount of money and you've been the worst team in the NBA for half a decade, I totally understand why Washington's like, can we just be like a 43-win team for a couple years and like let these young guys actually play in meaningful basketball games? So I really liked that trade for the Wizards. The Mavs, they had to do it. Just to move on to the next
Era.
Next era. Yes, thank
Dude.
you.
I was gonna say Cooper Flag. I know they lost, but like he's really good. He's so good.
I think that's what like Tatum would have looked like if he just got the car keys from day one, where he just has some games where it's like, holy shit, this guy's gonna be good. I'm trying to think here, like the Jaren Jackson. I don't know what to think about that. Harden was great. Actually, that's probably the biggest surprise. Not that he got traded, but the fact that the Cavs gave up on Darius Garland. But I think they're just like, it never really made sense next to Mitchell, and he just cannot stay healthy.
Yeah. I know in the previous pod, I was like, oh, but the West-East exchange rate, but I kind of, and then I also talked about like the Harden playoff game with Philly. He's going to have some big games to Philly, in Philly. in Cleveland. But at the end of
I
the
know what
day,
you meant.
I think you know how the story ends with Harden in the playoffs, right? Hard one. What's your thoughts on Big Zoo? Because we kind of hit that as well. Like, the Celtics needed to put a lot more on the table to get it done, and I think that's probably smart to not go get too crazy.
Yeah, I'm fine with us not giving that up. I mean, to me, Matherin's been like pretty damn good this year from when I've watched Indy, which for some reason I always happen to catch like decent amounts of Indy games, and I don't know why. Matherin is a very plus asset who's very young, averaging like 19 a game on kind of efficient. So like we don't have really an asset like Matherin. And I imagine that was kind of the crown jewel of what the Clippers are getting. And then I just don't know if I would have given up 2 firsts. Like one of the firsts is really funkily protected, so it's kind of a fake first.
They basically have a 48% chance of a top 5 to 7 pick.
It's 5, yeah, right.
So
which is great. So I get why they wanted it. Yeah, it's just funky. Yeah. And then like a real 2029 first round pick. Who knows what's going on with Indiana by then? But they'll probably be pretty good. So, but to me, I think like Matherin is like a true plus asset. I think for a team like LA. So I get why they would prefer that. And like we just seems like we were never going to put 2 firsts on the table.
Yeah. The Knicks getting rid of Yabu and bringing in Alvarado. Like as far as like directly impacting the Celtics, the Harden thing and the Knicks obviously could be playoff opponents. Alvarado does nothing for me. Like, fine player, but like
not a playoff guy. Like maybe he gets 10 minutes in the playoffs. He doesn't really change the Knicks' fortune at all. I think like my favorite under the radar pickup was Io to Mini. Like I think was going to be really, really good for them, man. Like he's exactly what they need. Dude can kind of share ball handling responsibilities and make wide open threes. Like I think he's good like defender. What they hoped. Yeah, good defender. What they hoped Dillingham was going to be, and he just wasn't.
Yeah, and I think like the first thing that came to my mind is like, what is Io going to look like on a good team, on a real team? And I think that's the hope for both him and Vooch, right? Anytime you're acquiring guys from these wilderness teams, like you're kind of hoping that they take a big jump. Jake, got any pomegranate juice? I could honestly get some pomegranate juice into me.
That's good.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Trade deadline. We roll on. Times. Tomorrow we play the Heat, who did nothing. And if you wanted to laugh, go to the Miami Heat subreddit because they are losing their mind. The only team to not make a move, I believe, at this deadline. They suck, dude. It's awesome.
They do suck. Yeah, man. Like they're just in complete purgatory. They are going to be the 8 seed for like the next half decade, and you just love to see it.
Yeah, I love it. G Nice in the chat. He's upset. I just want you to feel seen. I've seen you in here be upset. Have zero expectation for the last spot because it's basically about just making sure we don't go over the luxury tax. So, unless Brad Stevens and Zarin do something again, so don't rule it out, I guess. But like, it seems very obvious. Like they need to be very careful about who they bring in, and it sounds like it's much cheaper makes it cheaper to do it from within as opposed to do it from an external guy.
Yeah, I suspect what'll happen is we get maybe Ron Harper converted, maybe even Shulga converted, and then we just fill up those 2-way spots, which is fine, whatever. Yeah. Like we go 10 deep of like real guys I trust in the rotation at this point. So, like if we get hit by injuries and we need these guys to like Shulga to play, we were fucked anyway. So it doesn't like nobody we sign is gonna save us unless it's Javon Carter. My guy.
Fact, an actual fact. All right, Spoon, it's been a pleasure. Everybody in the chat.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you. I don't know. I'm gonna be busy over the next few days, going up to Sydney for Super Bowl. Gonna watch the dude who came last in our fantasy league run his half marathon while drinking 6 beers, which I almost ended up doing. But yeah, man. Go Pats. Go Celtics. Till next time.
Peace.
Oh, didn't hit the thing.